Hello everyone. Welcome to this webinar where you will learn a bit more about Peru. My name is Mariela Chiara. I am the commercial manager here at Metropolitan Tour in Peru, and I've been working in the tourism business for more than 23 years. Today, it is my pleasure to guide you through my wonderful country. So let's start. Peru is located in the Pacific coast of Latin America, and it's one of the most important cities when it comes to connectivity. Having direct flights arriving from all over the world, major cities in the US and Canada, Madrid, Paris, and Amsterdam in Europe, and many more. But why Peru? You might know us for being home of one of the new 7 wonders of the world, the citadel of Machu Picchu. But did you know we also have one of the most pristine primary rainforests in the world, Tambopata, or the highest navigable lake, Lake Titicaca, and the longest river in the world, the Amazon? And speaking of the Amazon, the rainforest covers 60% of our country, making us one of the most biodiverse in the world, with more than 700 types of ferns and 7,300 different species of flowering plants. And not to mention, the rainforest is also home of roughly 180 species of reptiles, 260 amphibians, 290 mammals, 700 fish, 800 birds, and 2,500 butterflies. Incredible. The other 40% of the country, it is divided between coast and the highlands. This gives Peru the only country in the world with 3 ecosystems that give travelers from all over the world the opportunity to visit beaches, deserts, highlands, and rainforests all in the same place. Our native communities can also vary particularly due to the different regions. What do they all have in common? They are delighted to welcome visitors and share their music, their dances, their colorful garments, and their daily activities with them. Another very important reason to visit Peru, it is our gastronomy. Our country has been crowned the best gastronomic destination for 6 consecutive years, and it has 3 of the world's best restaurants: Central, Maita, and Maido. You wish for adventure? We have you covered. Surf in the Pacific Ocean, kayak in Lake Titicaca, mountain bike in the Sacred Valley, or swim with pink dolphins in the Amazon. As you can see, Peru has something for every type of explorer. Now that you know why Peru is a country that attracts explorers from all over the world, let me dive into our destinations and give you some highlights and recommendations. We start in the coast of Peru, which extends for 2,250 kilometers or 1.4 miles along the Pacific Ocean. The coast is composed mostly of beaches and deserts and is home to Lima, our capital city. When in the coast, you want to make sure to try our rich gastronomy. Different flavors can be found in the regions North, Central, and South. Also in the coast, you can find the following destinations, and we will start with Lima. Lima, our capital city, is the gastronomic pearl of the Americas, and it's also known as the City of the Kings. You can fly here from most large cities in the world, and it's the connecting point for all your Peru destinations. We recommend a minimum of 2 nights stay in Lima, and some highlights you can find here are the historical center with the main square, the cathedral, the Santo Domingo and San Francisco convents, the San Francisco catacombs, the Archbishop Palace, all mansions or casonas such as Casa Aliaga and Casa Fernandini, the Torre Tagle Palace, and San Pedro Church. Lima is a UNESCO World Heritage Site full of history. Another highlight is Miraflores, the quintessential tourist neighborhood with shops, cafes, malls, and the best hotels in the city. Next, Barranco, our bohemian district, preferred by artists to be home of their galleries and offer great views of the ocean. The most famous landmarks in this area are the Puente de los Suspiros, or Bridge of Sights, and the Pedro de Osma Museum. We also have our top restaurants. Like we mentioned before, Peru has 3 restaurants amongst the world's 50 best and the 3 of them are in Lima. Gastronomic tours, we can recommend different options to learn about the history of our gastronomy or learn how to prepare our favorite dishes from scratch or venture into making and trying our beverage of choice, the pisco sour. Hope you have already tried. And finally, the Larco Museum. The Larco Museum is home of the largest collection of pre-Inca art. This is a must visit in Lima and is the perfect way to introduce you to our history and culture. Okay, let's continue traveling to the south. Located 4 hours from Lima by private transportation or bus, we will arrive to Paracas, home to the Ballestas Islands, which are perfect for bird watching. The Ica region, where Paracas is located, is also famous for its wine and of course our national drink, the pisco. The preferred transportation to reach either Ica or Paracas or Nazca is by land, but given its proximity to Lima, private flights are a wonderful option that we can also offer you. The usual or minimum recommended stay in this area is a period of 2 nights. Some highlights that we can mention. The Paracas National Reserve is the perfect opportunity for wildlife lovers, particularly birds. Here you will find the largest concentration of birds on Earth. The Ballestas Islands, with its particular and diverse coastal fauna. These several small islands harbor sea lions, humboldt penguins, and a wide variety of guano birds. The Nazca Lines is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and these mysterious geoglyphs of more than 2,000 years ago can only be seen by air. Now, to see them, we can take the flights from the Pisco Airport, which is located in Paracas. You can also tour the traditional Pisco vineyards in nearby Ica, learning about the types of grapes grown and the procedure of making our famous Pisco. Adventure tours are also available, so be prepared for a yacht trip in the Paracas Reserve, sandboarding in the Ica Desert, and kite surfing in the ocean, even row to the figure of El Candelabro. And very important to mention that luxury hotels are available in Paracas. Let's continue to the northern Peru. We recommend this destination for those explorers interested in our history and culture. By plane, you will be almost an hour from Lima in the north of Peru, which is a region known for its ancestral past, its archaeological sites to explore, and delectable gastronomy not far behind. It is important to mention that powerful pre-Columbian kings such as the Lord of Zipan and the Lady of Cao resided in these lands. The highlights that we recommend to visit here are the Chanchan Citadel. This is the largest pre-Hispanic mud city in the Americas and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The archaeological remains are located 6 kilometers or 3.7 miles northeast of the city of Trujillo. Then, the Zipan Royal Tombs Museum. This museum houses all the archaeological material found in the Lord of Zipan excavations and is listed as one of the 10 best in the world. We also have El Brujo Archaeological Complex with its pyramid that rises about 98 feet above the surrounding desert and covers an area of roughly 330 by 330 feet. Then the Cao Museum. This museum guards the mummy of one of the most important figures from the past, the Lady of Cow. This one was discovered in the El Brujo pyramid. As you can see, there is heritage all over the north, even on the seashore where we find Huanchaco. Huanchaco is a traditional fishing hamlet where you can still see artisanal fishing on ancestral totora horses. And the advised stay in this area are 3 nights. Okay, we will continue now farther to the north. As we mentioned, Peru is not only jungle and the cities, but it's also a beach. It is in places like Máncora where we find gorgeous, inspiring, and relaxing places full of adventure. There are 2 ways to get to the northern beaches depending on the time and itinerary of our explorers. Our recommended one is by flight, which from Lima can take only 2 hours. And the other one, the private transportation by land from Chiclayo, which lasts 3 hours. Now, let's learn about its highlights. Máncora Beach is one of the favorite places to see one of the most beautiful sunsets, or just to spend relaxing days and have a romantic dinner by the sea. But also, this area of Peru pumps up anyone's adrenaline. Surfing, kitesurfing, horseback riding, and for nature lovers, even whale watching is an option. So one more time, there is a little bit of everything for everyone in Peru. The recommended stay in our northern beaches is 3 nights. Okay, with Máncora, we leave the coast and we move now to Peru's highlands, which includes Cusco, the Sacred Valley, and much more. This region is a region of massive peaks, deep canyons, and magnificent archaeological sites that preserve Peru's spirit and the traditions of ancient civilizations. Then let's start talking about some of the highlands' amazing destinations. Let's start with Cusco City. This is one of the best known destinations in Peru and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The city of Cusco is considered the archaeological center of the Americas and the getaway to the wonderful Machu Picchu and the magnificent Sacred Valley of the Incas. Many locations such as the historic centers, beautiful streets, or the San Blas picturesque district can be reached by walking. Speaking of, let's go over some of the highlights. The Cusco Main Square, where you can admire the finest example of Inca history and architecture, the main square, the cathedral, and the Santo Domingo Church or Coricancha Temple. The Sacsayhuaman Fortress, which is one of the Cusco city's main surrounding ruins, and an Inca fortress and ceremonial compound. We also have the San Blas district, the bohemian side of the city, full of workshops where you can have hands-on ceramic making experiences. We also have the San Pedro Market, a typical local market and popular place for locals where we can organize not only a visit to learn about the local products and the handicrafts, but also we can arrange customized experiences here. Gastronomic tours are also available. Here you can immerse yourself in the Andean and the Peruvian cuisine in the city's restaurants, where you will also be delighted with the modern cocktails. You can also visit the Chocolate Museum, the Pisco Museum, the Coffee Museum, and we can recommend our cooking classes and different culinary experiences in the area. The advised stay in Cusco City is a total of 3 nights. Let's continue to the Sacred Valley. The Sacred Valley, located 2 hours by private transportation from Cusco, is one of the most requested destinations for experiencing Andean communities immersed in ancient customs and traditions. Centuries ago, this area was the Inca Empire's breadbasket, so impressive terraces and significant archaeological sites will be easily accessible here. Now, let's mention some of the highlights we recommend to visit in the Sacred Valley. We have the Andean Textile Centers, whose primary goal is to preserve the wealth of the Inca textile art and where you can see up close the variety of Andean camelids, the llamas, vicuñas, alpacas. We also have the Pisac town, that is famous for its archaeological sites, which lie atop a hill at the entrance of the valley. We can visit the Pisac market. This market was the place of reunion for all artisans of the region to get together and exchange or buy and sell their products. We can go to the Chincheros town. This is an authentic Andean village where you can learn about the Incas' weaving and textile dyeing techniques. Additionally, it hosts colonial church with a large art collection and archaeological remains also nearby. We have the Mara salt pans, where communities can teach us the artisan salt-making process that originated thousands of years ago. Then we can also visit the Moray terraces, that are believed to be a former Inca gigantic agricultural laboratory or an astronomical observatory or a place of worship. The Ollantaytambo Fortress. For me, this is a must visit in the Sacred Valley. This site was believed to have been built to guard the entrance of the Sacred Valley in front of the Ollantaytambo town, also known as the Live Inca town. Adventure tours are also available in the Sacred Valley, including trekking, hiking, ziplining, climbing, via ferrata, mountain biking or horseback riding, river rafting, and kayaking or stand-up paddle. This among other options. And finally, the ideal stay in the Sacred Valley is a period of 3 nights. And then we arrive to Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu is one of the new 7 wonders of the world, but it is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is a great mountaintop city abandoned by the Inca Empire, reclaimed by the jungle, and lost to humanity until its rediscovery in 1911. Machu Picchu is situated at 2,400 meters above sea level, or 7.8 feet, and can be reached by train in almost 4 hours from the Cusco City and 2 hours from the Ollantaytambo train station. We have a variety of train services that are an experience in themselves, some with full panoramic views to see all the beauty of the road, live shows and music. The trains can also be luxurious, and we have private charters available with options for small groups. Another excellent way to get to the beautifully preserved Lost Inca City is through the Inca Trail, a one-of-a-kind route that can last up to 3 nights of walking and camping, with luxury options that are also available. Then, we already know how to get there. Now let's talk about the highlights of Machu Picchu. Let's start with the citadel itself. It is probably the most amazing urban creation of the Inca Empire, with its giant walls, terraces and ramps, which appears as though they have been cut naturally in the continuous rock escarpments, and the different hikes for all levels of adventurers, such as the Inca Trail itself, or the options that from the top of the mountain provide amazing and different views of Machu Picchu, like the Machu Picchu mountain hike and the Huayna Picchu mountain hike. Believe me, you will love being there. It is always hard to explain the feeling of being in Machu Picchu, and once you are there, you want to spend more time in the citadel and enjoy a second visit. That is why, even though it is possible to visit Machu Picchu in a full-day trip, our suggested stay is 1 night. That extra time is absolutely worth it. Arequipa. Arequipa is known as the White City because of its white constructions made with volcanic stones. This colonial city not only has beautiful convents and grand old colonial houses, but also holds delightful gastronomy. Also, this destination is home to 2 of the deepest canyons in the world, the Colca and the Cotahuasi. How to get there? Let's take a flight from Lima to Arequipa in just 1 hour, or travel by private transportation from Cusco in 9 hours. Our minimum recommended stay in Arequipa is 3 nights. Now, let me mention some of Arequipa's most iconic highlights. First, the Arequipa Main Square, where we can find La Compañía Church and the Santa Catalina Monastery, but also the cathedral, a prime example of the 19th century Peruvian architecture. Then, the city of Arequipa is also considered a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Another highlight are the picanterias. In these local restaurants, you can taste traditional flavors that are a true representation of the origins of the gastronomy in Arequipa. We continue with the Yanaguara viewpoint, where we see part of the Arequipa countryside and also the nearby volcanoes that represent this city. Then, Salinas and Aguada Blanca Reserve. This reserve is inhabited by herds of vicuñas and alpacas, which are South American camelids, and from where we see the other face of the Arequipa's volcanoes, Misti and Chachani. And finally, the Colca Canyon, located at 3,400 meters above sea level or 11.2 feet. The Colca Canyon is one of the world's deepest canyons. It surpasses the Colorado Canyon in depth by more than 1,500 meters or 5,000 feet, and it is also the native habitat of the Andean condor, which can be seen flying a few meters above the visitors. Let's continue with our next highland destination, Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca is closer to Arequipa. It is situated in the Puno region in the country's south. You can fly from Lima to Juliaca or Puno in nearly 2 hours, or from Arequipa in 45 minutes. When you arrive at Lake Titicaca, you will quickly realize it is a place rich in culture, history, and tradition. It is known as the cradle of the legend that gave birth to the Inca Empire. Our recommended stay in Lake Titicaca is a minimum of 2 nights. Now, let's mention what to visit when you are in this region. Let's start with the floating islands of Uros. Lake Titicaca still shelters ancient cultures such as the community of the Uros that inhabit floating islands made of reeds. We know them as the water tribe. Here, our totora boats, a picturesque mode of transportation, is very typical. The Uros people constructed with layers of vegetable fiber that are unique in the region. Another highlight is the Taquile Island. This island is inhabited by Quechua-speaking natives who have developed fine hand-weaving techniques passed down from generation to generation. Next, the ceremonial center of Siyustani, located 40 minutes from downtown Puno. Here, you can admire the magnificence pre-Inca and Inca architecture, including massive stone blocks that served as tombs for these cultures. The landscape is also amazing in Siyustani. You don't want to miss it. We also need to mention the Yachon community. It is located on the western side of Lake Titicaca. Here, you live like a local, hosted by a Quechua-speaking village that will teach us about their daily activities, fishing techniques, and how to navigate small rowing boats. And adventure and nature activities are also highlights in Lake Titicaca. It is possible to go biking, kayaking, and fishing in the same lake. There is a sense of freedom in the air when you do these activities. And if the explorer has some extra time, we recommend boarding the breathtaking Highland train from Cusco to Puno, which takes about 10 hours and includes stunning landscapes, traditional music, and many unique moments. A longer but highly recommended route from Cusco to Puno and finishing in Arequipa is on board the Andean Explorer, South America's first luxury night train. If we had previously talked about the Puno water tribe, we would now ascend to another level. Farther north of the country, Chachapoyas was a region inhabited by the so-called cloud people, who built the Cuelap Fortress, also known as the Peruvian Babel Tower due to its construction. The simplest way to travel to Chachapoyas is by plane, taking 1 hour and 40 minutes from Lima to Jaén Airport, and our recommended stay is about 4 nights in the area. Now, the highlights that we can visit in Chachapoyas are the following, and let's start with the Cuelap Fortress. As we said before, the majestic architectural work of the Chachapoyas, which was a pre-Inca culture. The Cuelap Fortress was built on top of a mountain. This archaeological site of circular buildings is surrounded by beautiful landscapes. Then we can also visit the Gokta waterfall, an incredible waterfall that measures 771 meters high. It is considered among the highest in the world. Another important place to visit, Revash, also created by the Chachapoyas. The structures were tombs carved in the rocky wall of a ravine that occupied natural caverns. It's brimming with culture. And finally, we have the Carajilla sarcophagi, up to 2.5 meters tall. The sarcophagi from the Chachapoyas pre-Inca civilization were made of stone, wood, and clay, with an anthropomorphic shape. Our Highlands tour ended in Chachapoyas, and we continue to the last big area of Peru, which houses the world's richest biodiversity and is one of the world's largest natural resources, the Amazon. So let's start talking about the best destinations to visit in the Amazon. Puerto Maldonado is popular for being the starting place for jungle excursions, a location where you can discover the world's most pristine primary rainforest and where you can find the Tambopata National Reserve, a habitat for thousands of tree and flower species, as well as mammals, birds, reptiles, and butterflies. We land in Puerto Maldonado in 1 hour and 30 minutes on a direct flight from Lima and less than 1 hour from Cusco. After that, we take a bus and then a boat ride to the lodge, and 3 nights are our minimum recommended stay for this place. Highlights of this destination? Well, we need to mention the rainforest excursions with jungle walks, bird watching, canopy walkway, and even see the natural horizon from the top of a canopy tower. Here you will feel like you are in a National Geographic special. Amazing. We also have the Colorado Maco Clay Lake. An explosion of color will explode before your eyes like hundreds of parrots and dozens of macos. Now, where to stay? We have different options of Amazon lodges to enjoy a wonderful stay in the middle of the jungle. These lodges, such as the Refugio Amazonas, Tambopata Research Center, and Incaterra Reserva Amazónica, among others, are surrounded by nature and have different activities that will shine a light on everything that the Peruvian Amazon has to offer. The Tambopata Research Center, a spacious boutique eco-lodge located in the buffer zone of the National Reserve, is the only lodge inside the reserve surrounded by dozens of maco nests belonging to the Maco project. And we need to talk about the Manu National Reserve. This is the most biodiverse place on the planet, and also it is recognized as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Now we come to the final stop in Peru. Along with Puerto Maldonado, Peru has another national wonder, Iquitos, which can be explored on luxurious cruise ship with all the comforts you need. Iquitos is known for being the birthplace of the Amazon River, one of the world's biggest hydrographic systems. Shortly after an approximately 2-hour flight, we arrive in Iquitos, where we begin the journey to the Pacaya-Samiria Reserve. The Pacaya-Samiria Reserve represents the largest protected Amazonian area in the world, and When we consider the wide range of both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems that it houses, we notice the reason it is residence to such fantastic and unusual animals as the pink dolphin. Rainforest excursions are also available here. Bird watching, jungle walks, night walks in the jungle, piranha fishing, kayaking and paddleboard, swimming in black water, and if you are lucky, with pink dolphins. We can also visit some native communities where the inhabitants of the Amazon will be sharing their culture with you, demonstrating their connection to the natural environment and ancestral beliefs. And you can find a stylish jungle experience in the Amazon cruises, almost floating hotels. Here you can spend your days exploring nature with expert guides and having thousands of adventures while sleeping peacefully in suites decorated with Amazonian culture and the best stuff. I would recommend a stay on board these Amazon cruises is 4 nights and 7 nights. And now it's time to say goodbye. Thank you very much for your time today. I hope you have learned a bit more about what Peru has to offer to the different explorers. Remember, you can recommend Peru for everyone who's looking for history, culture, archaeology, or nature, gastronomy, or adventure. We have almost everything in the same country. See you in Peru.